Hello again, America. My name is Guy Calisi, and welcome to the Olderbulls podcast. My topic today is going to be centered around how character is built through our successes and failures of real life challenges and how we deal with adversity that life throws our way. We all have them. Right now, in particular, I think a lot of us are being tested, basically. If we've lived a life without adversity up to this point, we're playing catch up right now. This is going to be centered around how we can help our children um, build character through giving them more experiences. Having children go through their early years without ever having to confront real life challenges or not having real life experience without needing to overcome adversity or failure is not actually a good thing. I know what you're thinking. That stuff hurts, Guy, and it doesn't feel good. It makes them feel bad. I agree, but like a vaccine, it may sting a bit and cause a little soreness and redness around the site of injection. Uh, the next day, they're usually better, right? That little spot, it's better than the alternative. The Our success as humans is determined by how we respond to the frustrations and failures in our lives. That's just basic. Grit, we've heard so much about it in the last 10 years and how gritless our children are becoming. Grit cannot be developed without exposure to adversity. We need a curriculum of failure for our children. I mean, I'm a teacher, you all know that, but I'm talking about as parents as well. So, children who respond well to failure or who have an appropriate relationship with it are much more likely to embrace challenges and push themselves through difficult times to develop stronger skills and deeper knowledge, both socially and academically. Check the studies on that, they're all over the place. Proper parenting, teaching, and mentoring are considered acts of love. If you don't believe that, you're lost. They're considered acts of love toward your neighbor. Nobody sets out um, to consciously raise an asshole, but yet there are so many out there. That's a head scratcher. How does that happen? One of the most obvious and, in my opinion, most disturbing signs that we are paying way too much attention and doing too much for our children is that when things go wrong for them, it's all turned on to us. For example, I didn't know I was supposed to, whatever the responsibility is, fill in the blank there. What's happening is it's immediately deflected toward the parent or the teacher or the coaches, anywhere other than directing it back at themselves where it belongs, owning that responsibility for whatever went wrong. It's the parent or the teacher's fault, but that's just the first part of this whole twisted ordeal. Wait for it. If we allow this to happen, what we're doing is enabling their irresponsible behavior by shouldering the blame for them, which is what they want because it doesn't feel good to be responsible for your actions. Well, then they're off scot free, right? And mostly because we feel guilty, we'll take that blame, we'll shoulder it for them. And then the conversation goes something like this: "Oh, yep, you know what? You're absolutely right, honey. I never told you." And fill in the blank with something ridiculous. I am so sorry. I will make sure that I'm more aware of that next time. That's on me. My bad. Don't worry about it. Well, by shouldering the blame and covering for their lack of responsibility, we're teaching, I don't know, what what we're teaching something that I like to call learned helplessness. And they learn how not to do things and how to be efficiently irresponsible and manipulative as well, which are, by the way, in case you don't know, two of the top 10 traits of the most successful, responsible, and contributing adults. Ah, it's not true. One of my mentors, the most influential person in my teaching career, said to me, our our children are not ours, Guy. They are free spirits that we have the responsibility to prepare to be able to stand on their own. We're supposed to be getting them ready to be able to be contributing members of a larger community. We need to give them the tools that give them humble, that actually make them humble and empathetic human beings who use their free will to make their own decisions and life choices. And then he said that we do this by laying down a strong foundation based in love and strong leadership. And this is parents, coaches, mentors, whoever, the adults in our children's lives. By allowing them to shoulder their own responsibilities, we can do just that. We need to give them an opportunity to develop a sense of agency. And by that, I mean give them as many opportunities to do, to contribute, to succeed, and to fail as we can. It's only through these experiences that they will feel they have a relative sense of control of consequences and outcomes in their lives. Parents can be taking so much credit for their children's accomplishments and failures. I mean, I see it all of the time, living vicariously through their kids. Have you ever seen an adult go on and on about a child's accomplishments and the kid is right there and they're like, "What are you doing?" The adult acts as though he or she is the kid's PR rep or agent, like they have to sell their kid to whoever is unlucky enough to be around at that moment. It's embarrassing and frankly, it's gross. And then when the kid screws up, the parent is a failure. I don't want to own that. I don't want to own their successes like it was because of me, that they're successful, or I don't want to own their failures because if we do, they won't. We are letting our children make decisions that they have no business making. Funny, but not really when we think about it. We're spending more time and more money on parenting and getting worse results. I just don't get it. There has been a massive transfer of authority from parents to kids, along with a greater valuation of kids' opinions and preferences. For example, I see this all the time. Choosing a place to sit at a restaurant. First of all, I don't think, younger children should even be at restaurants, but that's another argument. Since when do we ask our children where they would like to sit? Since when do we ask our children if they'd rather sit by the window or closer to the TVs? How did that happen? Children learn our customs and practices by watching adults model the behavior or receiving active instruction from the people with experience, the adults, us. And culturation is what that's called. Who is teaching children what it means to be a good person? You have to ask yourself that question. Really, just take a second and think about that. Who is teaching our children what it means to be a good person? How are our kids getting enculturated? Something very dangerous is happening. And you know the answer to this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Our kids are being enculturated by their peers and through social media and TV. I used to talk to parents of younger children, like 3 to 6 year olds, saying, do you just let strangers in your front door and sit on your couch and have conversations with your children? Well, that's what you're doing when you leave them with the TV or the computer or their cell phones. You're letting strangers influence them, and you have no control over it. If you allow that to happen, you have control over whether that happens or not, right? We're living in a culture of disrespect for adults and each other by children, by young adolescents, by adolescents in general. Disrespect is the norm. Look at the t-shirts that you see, our kids wearing. And some of the adults that are allowing their children to wear these t-shirts think they're cute. Do I look like I care? Out of your league. Is that all you got? You look like I need another drink. Buy me another drink. You're still ugly. It's everywhere. Disney Channel, the blatant disrespect on most of the programs for parents by the kids is absolutely insane. Parents are rarely, if ever, depicted as consistently reliable and trustworthy, or even smart for that matter, especially the dads, which I have a personal problem with. They're constantly undermining parental authority. This is what we have to work with as teachers. Do your job, parent your children. Don't let strangers do a job that was intended for you. Our job is simple, as parents, I'm talking about. Give your children what they need to be young adults who are equipped with the confidence in themselves and their abilities, or better yet, actual skills to live in the real world. And guess what? Suffering is a part of that. They're not going to get it right the first time. Boo hoo. I tell my own kids as well as my students that I will never try to talk them out of a decision, that I will always respect their right to decide, and I will respect the consequences that go along with the decisions that they make as well. I might make suggestions, offer advice, but in the end, I will always allow them the final decision on their own to make it. There is no substitute for suffering and pain when it comes to growth and learning. Folks, that's how I see it. I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to see you next time. But before I go, I have a little postscript. Work out. There is no real excuse not to. I have been doing this new thing now. I've been working out since I was 14 years old. It's a part of my life. It's a habit, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I feel terrible when I don't. But I've been doing this thing now because it's been harder for me to work out, during this COVID period or whatever, to get motivated to work out. So I've condensed it. I decided that I'm going to do 25-minute workouts 5 days a week. And I love it. Now, you don't have to do it 5 days a week. You can start with a 25-minute, or you can just start with saying that you're going to work out, okay? And lay on the floor for a little while, do a half-ass sit-up, try a couple push-ups, whatever. It doesn't matter. But commit to doing something. This 25 minutes, 5 days a week, I love. It's mostly resistance training with weights or bands. I love it because I got to tell you, I'm allergic to cardio. No, you don't get it. Seriously, it makes me hot and I break out into a sweat. It's not good. My shirts get all wet. It's disgusting. If you think about it, 25 minutes is absolutely nothing. Think about how you waste 25 minutes on a collection of mindless activities every day. Just get your groove and do it. Do something. You'll be happy that you did. Come on, 25 minutes. You can commit to that. Just do it once. Don't make it a commitment to 3 or 5 days a week. Just do it one time and see what happens. Change the way you feel about yourself, and you change the way the world sees you. It's just a matter of being willing or unwilling to make a commitment to your personal betterment. That's it. See you next time, America.